Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. Hey, it's already been a busy morning, and we're here on the Pirate Broadcast having a great time. And if you're just joining us, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And comment in the slot below or wherever you're located. You're coming from YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Periscope, wherever you happen to be arriving from. Let us know. And then also, if you're new to the pirate community, just connect with other people in the feed. Let them know that you're here, you're open to connections, and make some friends, because kindness is cool, and we just want to continue to pursue a little bit of happiness today. And today we have another interesting guest doing interesting things, and I am excited. He's from Houston. Welcome to the party. Welcome to being a pirate.
Well, thank you, Russ.
How you doing, man?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me here. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you. When I first found out about your podcast and the pirate community, I had no idea how massive it was. So what you've been able to accomplish here has been truly amazing, because LinkedIn is no easy platform. So congratulations to you from my side for getting to this particular point.
Well, thank you. We have over 200 episodes here, and one of the things that is, I think, part of what you're talking about on a lot of scale is, just being out there, being consistent, and growth, innovate, and excellence. And let's dive into that a little bit. How did you? I mean, you weren't always doing this, and there's probably a backstory and a kind of a journey that you went through, and talk to us about how you got to where you are today and what you're doing with it.
Absolutely. So I like to call myself the creative child in the family, the creative sheep. So growing up, I'm the middle child. I have an older brother and I have a younger sister. And my older brother is not even a year older than me. He's May 26th. I am May 14th, back to back. Right. Wow. So my parents wanted a son, they wanted a daughter, and I kind of came in and broke that middle chain for them. Right. So they decided to wait a little bit. They didn't want a third son. So my sister came 4 years later. But my brother is even till this day, he's a superstar of the family, right? He's the studious kind. He's street smart. He's book smart. He is everything that my parents wanted to be. And I am the creative child of the family. And if you know anything about immigrant parents, when they come here, the biggest focus is education, right? And secular education. You better be good at math, science, something that's going to get you a great degree.
Yeah.
So long story short, I finally somehow, some way got through high school, graduated college with some good grades. And I went straight into banking. That's because that's what everybody did who wasn't a doctor.
Stable environment,
Yeah, and my parents were super happy. I went on board as a personal banker. Within a year, I became a branch manager, on my way to becoming a district manager. And I mean, internal or professionally, the success was there. But internally, just something didn't sit right with me personally and professionally. I'll tell you, professionally, it was because I couldn't understand why this massive organization was so complex and so unagile. Right? Yeah. The gap between C-suite executives to frontline employees was so massive that it always used to bug me. And then we were inundated with meetings all the time. Between our branch managers, we used to have the saying that we have so many meetings that we have no time for execution. And then the very next day, we have a meeting on what we met about yesterday. So just, I could not grasp it. I couldn't understand why so much complexity. I'm a very simple person at heart. And then personally, I didn't feel right. I don't know what it was at that point in time. I didn't recognize it, but I didn't feel right about what it is that I was doing. So I left that organization after a couple of years, went into business for myself, created a bunch of different stores, a bunch of different retail environments, service industries, and I was successful at every single one of them. I sold all of them. So now professionally, I felt great because I was creating the organization and I was leading the charge. But personally, something felt wrong. But in the middle of that process, a ton of people and a ton of contacts and a ton of acquaintances started reaching out to me because they saw the success and they're like, hey, we need you to kind of come into our organization and see what's going on because we've kind of hit a plateau. We can't seem to grow. Yeah. And I started helping them out randomly, and there was always a pattern. And that pattern was a lack of clarity on purpose, and a lack of clarity on core values, and a lack of clarity on goals. And it was always the same thing. Some guy somewhere somehow figured out a niche or a product, jumped into it, made a ton of money, and then now cannot scale up, right? Hit that plateau and it's like, I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
So as soon as we were able to implement clarity, that plateau broke completely. And that growth went from linear to exponential. It shot up because now every day they showed up with a purpose and they knew exactly what they had to do.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, those are the times that I felt the strongest. Those are the times that I felt like I was a superhero. I could take on the world. And then I started doing that for personal people. People would come up to me for career advice and relationship advice, finances, losing weight, whatever it was. And it turns out it was the same pattern. They just didn't have clarity.
Yeah.
It was always, I want more money, or I want to lose weight, but how much more money do you want?
But it was much too broad. Much too broad. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, Tony Robbins talks about this all the time, right? We have this thing called the reticular activating system in our brain. Once you define what you want, your brain is like a missile. It will go find it. But if you just say, I want more money, well, okay, here's $1. There you go. You're good, right? You got what you wanted. So finally, in 2015, I decided to do some soul searching. And essentially what I realized is I had created clarity for people. I had not created clarity for me. I was a horrible patient. So I sat down. I just
always leaks. Right?
Yeah. Well, you're too busy taking care of other people's houses, right? That's what you're doing. Yeah. So I finally sat down. I wrote down my mission, my why, my purpose, my goals. And what I figured out is I was the happiest when I was helping people grow. I was very, very happy when I got people to break through that ceiling. And I codified the formula for growth. And that's how growth, innovation, and excellence, so this GIE method came about. And from 2015, that's what I've been doing. I started my consulting firm, and I've been helping individuals and businesses just grow and be able to scale up.
You know, it's interesting, and you dropped a lot of knowledge there, and I just want to unpack it a little bit for clarity, because that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Clarity. And so one of the things that I think a lot of people fail to realize is, and you started off with this great analogy is, when you're in high school and you're thinking, okay, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, I don't think a lot of people have enough information about what they want to do because they don't have enough experience to understand and appreciate what they do or do not like to spend their time doing. Like in banking, it's a great career for a lot of people, and it's not for everyone. Just like real estate, investment, construction, being all of these experiences have different ways of approaching success. And I think one of the things that we have to have is a little bit of experience along the way, along our journey, to find out what we like to do and how we like to spend our time. And as a result of that, you actually discovered that you like helping people bring clarity and focus in their business life. And because you've had a number of other experiences along the way, you can kind of see around the corner on things that they may not understand or appreciate yet because they haven't had that experience. And I think that's really important for people to understand, is that it's always great to have a coach or a mentor or somebody in your life that you can actually ask questions for, and ask questions and say, what am I not seeing? What is the experience that I haven't seen yet? So I think we're talking about this whole thing in the process, and you experienced it, and now you're sharing it with others. Is that a fair assessment?
Oh, absolutely. I think perspective is key in life, right? And you said it exactly the way I would say it is. When you're so close to the process, you can't see around it. But when you get a coach or you get somebody from the outside who jumps in and says, "Hey, tell me about your problems," right? Are they really an issue? Have you looked at every single thing? Or because you're so close to it, you have blinders on and you can't see that there's a massive world around you. And it's funny because every time we've broken through a barrier for somebody, you see this spark in their eyes where they realize there's a whole new world behind that issue, behind that problem that they hadn't seen. And there's an amazing quote that I like to tell people out there is, you're inches away from success. And all that is breaking down that barrier. Once you break it down, you don't realize how close you are.
Well, how many times have you seen it and experienced that there are people that don't see the dream as being big enough? So they're not reaching for, the stars to get to the moon. They're reaching down to the next corner to pay their rent. It's like they don't see the opportunity that they could have if they were just take themselves out of it and say, okay, let's build a roadmap. Let's build a, kind of a set of instructions that you can use to get to where you want to where you really want to go, not to where you need to go next. Right.
Yeah. It's, I think everybody has it. And if somebody tells you they haven't gone through that fear, they're lying to you. Right? They're absolutely lying to you, because everybody goes through it. And I like to define it as there's 3 levels of goal setting. There's what you already know how to do. There's what you can learn how to do. And then the third one, which most people don't get to, which is what you know you will do. You just don't know how you're going to do it yet.
Yeah.
Right? But you absolutely know. And there's so many examples in our history. I mean, if you think about Steve Jobs and the iPhone, if you would have asked him back in 2000 or 99, is he going to be able to create something that's going to be more powerful than the computer sitting on your desktop? He absolutely would have said yes. But if you would have asked him how he's going to do it, I have no idea.
Yeah,
but I will do it. Yeah, but I will do it, right? Roger Bannister running the 4-minute mile, he did it because he visualized it. Nobody had done it. And then 2 years later, 37 people do the exact same thing because he broke that mold of it's possible. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I will do it.
Yeah. And that's the idea that a lot of people can't imagine doing it because they haven't achieved that small leap of faith that, hey, I don't know the roadmap. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I just know that it's there and somebody can do it. And why not me? Right?
Yes.
So why not you? You could do it. So I want to just take a moment here and give a shout out to some of the pirates in the room now. Wendy, gotcha. Yeah. Sima, good morning. How are you doing? And JD, I love that you're here. LinkedIn user, good morning, pirates. Some people don't show up on their they have their settings set. Greetings, pirates. Lisa. Khan, another ahoy pirates, another pirate that's been here and some great thinkers. Wendy, hello friends, how are you? Kathy's always wonderful to be in here. Howard, the best way to get people aligned on innovation goals. What's the best way to get people aligned on innovation goals? That's a great question, Howard. I'd love to talk about that because right now, we're kind of in this unique time and space in history where a lot of innovation, when we look at it, there's 2 ways to look at it: doom and gloom, or the opportunity to innovate. And I would like to innovate. So what are your thoughts on that? And what do you see kind of unfolding in the future here?
So that is an amazing question, Howard. I want to kind of take a step back and I want to talk about what is innovation and what is excellence and why does it factor into growth. So very early in my life, I figured out that if you want growth in anything, you need to stop focusing on growth and start focusing on the factors of growth, which is innovation and excellence. Right. So it's like losing weight. People who step on the scale every day trying to lose weight, they're never going to do it, right? Because that's all they're focusing on. You focus on your diet and your workout, that's how you're going to actually lose that weight. Now, even within that, though, there's a formula for how much innovation and how much excellence. And I'll give you an example with the Pirate Broadcast. When you started the Pirate Broadcast, that was innovation, right? That didn't exist. You brought that into life. Maybe the broadcast or the podcast existed somewhere else, but for you, that was innovation. But that was just the beginning. In order for this podcast to become successful, you had to show up every single day. You had to do the work. You had to make adjustments, get a different camera, try different timings, get different types of people on here to figure out what worked best for you. So growth essentially equals 20% innovation and 80% excellence.
Yeah, and showing up, doing the work.
Exactly. And it's so hard for people to realize because we're creative. Everybody is creative in their own minds. They have solutions to their problems already in their head, and they can come up with innovative ideas all the time. But it's the people who get up on that bike every time they fall are the ones that actually succeed. So the best way to get people aligned on your innovation is first, tell them about it. Openly tell them, be transparent about this is what you want to achieve. And then second, show up, right? Walk the walk. If you show up every single day and you make it clear that this is what you want to achieve, people will fall in line. But you have to realize you're not always going to have good days. Or you're going to take 2 steps forward and 1 step backward. It's that step backwards that challenges you to say, hey, am I coming back to this? Am I going to do this all over again? So that's the simple answer.
Lead by example.
Yes.
Lead by example is a great way of looking at it. I believe, and I think it's really great. So Andrew's here. Do you advocate for a fixed mission statement or an ever-developing personal brand story? I love this question, Andrew. And I was thinking about this earlier actually over the weekend. I was thinking of manifesto, like a mission statement, a manifesto, or something that would by a it's like that North Star, that anchor that you're going to, the pirate syndicate and the pirate broadcast would be an anchor. It's like, where's it going to pull me down? It's like the tides will move me around, but the anchor will keep me in place. Right. Yeah. So let's talk about that. Do you advocate for a fixed mission statement or ever developing personal brand story?
I will show you something real quick. Here is my mission statement in life. This thing has changed multiple times over and over again.
Yeah.
So my answer to that question is a little bit of both. You need to fix it for a certain point in time. You can't change it on a daily basis or a weekly basis. But on a yearly basis, I revisit my mission statement to say, am I still at the same place in life or have I grown? Have I outgrown my mission statement?
Well, what have I learned that I didn't have on my roadmap? Along the way, everybody in life has that moment in time where it's like, oh, I didn't expect that. I didn't anticipate this. And you grab experience along the way, and that experience builds our character and our perspective, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So making adjustments along the way, just like a pilot or a sailor or anybody else that's flying or sailing along the ocean, it's like you have to make minor adjustments along the way. So I think the other part of that, though, I think is probably, the brand story. It's like my brand and my story has changed and evolved over the years, and I anticipate everybody's has. So
absolutely. The only thing constant in life is change. So as your brand evolves, as you get bigger and better, your mission will change, as it should, right? Because I believe we're all put on this planet to help people, to serve people. And as you grow, you can help and serve more people. So why not expand your mission statement to encompass as much as you possibly can? Right? So don't be stagnant.
Yeah, let's not stay in place.
Yeah.
Let's not stay in place. So Lori Knudsen, not sure why I don't show up anymore. Well, we'll have to figure that out. Let's get that going. So love what I'm hearing, Faisal, about the goal setting and unleashing the creative process. If you guys aren't connected, you guys should be connected. You guys are very much like-minded in the growth and the expansion of ideas, and I think it'd be a great connection. So,
absolutely,
Kathy, great question. I love the question. And a navigator. Yes. Let's be the navigator.
Yep.
Angie says, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Angie, for being here. So what are the things that you see in innovation as it relates to our current environment? I know that there's a lot of things that are going on around us that we don't have control over. What we do have control over is our ability to, like you said, change and evolve and make sure that we have things happening. And I, as an advocate of video, I know that putting yourself out there in video and putting yourself out there and making connections and communicating is key for a lot of business owners right now that don't have the ability to go to networking events or expos or, those kinds of trade shows and things like that. So what do you see mapped out in the future for a lot of businesses?
So I personally see this as an opportunity. And Winston Churchill once said that a crisis is a great opportunity to waste. I will tell you, I just did a seminar for business transformation, and all we talked about was how, because of COVID, because of the pandemic, these organizations who have been delaying digital transformation, going online for years, have somehow pulled it off in a matter of months. And again, it was mainly because they had a lack of clarity, but now they had their full focus on this. So I believe that this pandemic will bring people like you, myself, the Davids of the world. It'll bring them into a platform where they could take on the Goliaths of the world, right? Yeah. It will bring us into this particular platform where video and audio and content marketing will put us out there where we don't have to have a massive marketing budget to be able to reach out to a community like this. And as long as you're speaking your truth, as long as you're authentic, you're not making something up to fit the time frame that you're in, people will hear you, people will listen to you, and people will find you. So if you follow your purpose, the fame, the money, the content, the success, they will all come if you follow that purpose.
Yeah. I know that there's a lot of people that are in turmoil, and I think it goes back to having a goal and where you want to be and having clarity in what it is that you want to accomplish. And I think a lot of people, like myself included, as you go through life and you think you want something until you get there. And then it's like, this is not necessarily what I thought I wanted. And I think that's why it's really important for people to understand that you can get a coach or you can find somebody like yourself and gain some clarity, innovation, and look at some of the growth experience that you can have. And I think that's what excellence is about, is the ability and the opportunity to define what it is you're looking for, add a roadmap and some strategy and some clarity to it, and that's how you achieve excellence. So I love the way you've put your brand together and molded that into kind of a mission statement all in its own. So
no, I appreciate that, and I think you're absolutely right. The whole point of a coach is to slow you down, right? It really truly is, and I hate to put it that way, but people and organizations are moving so fast. They're so busy working in their organization that sometimes they forget to work on themselves. And it is a person like mine's job to say, hey, let's take a step back and let's see if you're still focusing on what you need to, and do you still want to go that route? So back to the question of, do I redefine my mission statement? Yes, absolutely. Once a year, once every 2 years, you need to stop and say, is this what I really want? Does this still make me want to get out of bed every morning? Or have I outgrown this? Have I surpassed this?
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of times where it's like, okay, you have those days. Everybody has those days where it's like, I just want to put it on pause. I just want to check out and not do anything today. And sometimes if you design your life in a certain way, that's possible. Other times you have people that depend on you and you have requirements and responsibilities, and that's okay too. You just have to keep pushing, because daily progress, my goal is make daily progress and become a better person than I was yesterday. Improve the world, share a few smiles, make sure that somebody made a difference in my life and I made a difference in someone else's life. And that's if we all did that, there would be no more problems. because we'd all be helping each other out, right?
Isn't it so funny though that answer, what you said, it's absolutely true. It's the simplicity of life that makes things so easy. If we just all did it, if we just all got up and said, let's be happy people, let's do what we love to do, and we'll solve all the problems in the world. If not solve them, we'll be able to take it on a lot happier, a lot easier.
Yeah. Have a conversation. It's like, it's not a problem. I want to ask you before we wrap up here is, I suspect, now this is just me thinking outside the box here, and I suspect that there are probably some similar experiences that you've seen across multiple businesses where people are just either not pulling the trigger or hesitating a little bit longer than they need to, or not executing clearly on, or there's some trends that kind of supersede everything that you've seen regardless of the industry. Are there some things that we need to think about right now that we can say, okay, yeah, that's me too, I've got to fix that? What are some things that people are not seeing on a regular basis that you've noticed in your experience?
I think the number one thing that I could point out to any entrepreneur, solopreneur, or any organization is being short-sighted, right? You're not reverse engineering what you want. The whole point of creating a vision is so then from there you can start creating your landmarks, right? Your 10-year vision, your 3-year targets, your 1-year goals, your quarterly initiatives. So again, I'm gonna refer back to this. This is what I work on a daily basis. So here's my 10-year goals. But if you turn it around, I've got my there you go. I've got my 3-year targets, my 1-year landmarks or 1-year goals, and my quarterly initiatives. So for me, decision making is automatic. When I do this on a yearly basis and a quarterly basis, I wake up every day and I know exactly what I have to do. I'm not paralyzed by decision making. Yeah. And I think that is the biggest thing for organizations is they show up on a daily basis, but they don't have a plan. They are waiting for a problem to arise and they're waiting for a problem to solve versus actually working on opportunities.
I'm laughing. So, and it's not because of anything you said. It's because, they show up and they say, well, what am I going to do today? Let me figure something. What am I going to do today? And if you have a plan and you have clarity and does it fit into does this activity help or hinder my progress?
Yeah.
And if you have nothing to measure it against, how are you going to know? If you can't measure it, you can't grow it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is the biggest problem is people are just wanting to solve issues. And if you continue to solve issues and not work on opportunities, you're not scaling, right? You're not growing. You're standing still. You're being stagnant.
That's amazing. I want to come back here, and I love this. Wendy said, intention is essential. Captain Russ is really good at intentionally using his skills and his passion for expansion in a way that benefits us all. Well, thank you, Wendy. That is so wonderful. Yeah. I love that you said that. I appreciate that. And thank you for all your... Wendy is an amazing individual that you should probably know, just saying. And then I like that change will remain constant. How to deal with change is key.
Yes.
And I like dealing with change in a very patient sort of way. Change is not crisis. Change is just a stage in our life that happens on a regular basis that we may not have control over it. Mm-hmm. So have a little patience.
Yeah.
Excellent as always, Russ. Russ and Leah, thank you so much, Russ and Leah. It's amazing what a little kindness will do. Absolutely, positively. It's amazing what a little kindness will do. So what's the biggest roadmap or roadblock that you have in your roadmap right now?
To be very honest, I think it would be just content creation, right? And you know this more than anybody else. Creating content is not easy work. Creating and disseminating content through an omni-channel approach basically requires a whole team. Mm-hmm. So at this point in time, that is probably my biggest challenge. But I'll tell you, I enjoy the digital art. Like I said, I'm a very creative person. So I like cutting videos, editing videos, recording podcasts. I think that's just something that I truly enjoy. So I don't see it as a roadblock. I just see it as more of a time constraint, but
Yeah.
time is something that I can always make up for.
Well,
So that is something
we
that
only have so much time in our day, right? It's like,
yeah,
that's the equalizer. That's the big equalizer. So how we optimize that is key. So, and that takes a little innovation
absolutely.
too.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
any nuggets of knowledge you want to leave for a legacy here in the pirate broadcast for the day going forward as we wrap this?
Figure out a way to simplify your life, and I truly mean that.
I
If
love
you
that.
can get to the root cause of your problems, if you can figure out what's really truly causing your problem and stop worrying about the symptoms, first of all, you'll solve the problem for good, and second, you will get rid of any of the problems that were going to come up that you just didn't have any visibility on. So simplify your life. That is the best advice I can give to anybody.
I border on minimalism in so many ways. So
yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. How do people get a hold of you? How would you like to be connected and people reaching out to you on a regular basis?
So just like you, I am an advocate of LinkedIn. So you can find me on LinkedIn almost everywhere. Just connect with me, DM me. I will make sure I reach out to you right away. You can go on my website, which is velaniconsulting.com, and you can see a lot of content from me over there. But message me. I am very easy to talk to, and I'll make sure I respond back right away.
That's awesome. And thank you so much for connecting. I know we're going to be having a conversation in the future, and we got a lot of things going on in our lives, and everyone, you know, that there's an opportunity for all of us to make a difference and an impact in the world, and just have a little bit of clarity, have a little bit of patience. Understanding and appreciation and empathy goes a long way when you're working out problems and you're working out challenges in your day. And that goes for everyone. And so we're all in this together, and make sure that you have, you know, somebody in your corner that can understand and appreciate what you're not seeing and help you along the way. So
Russ, if I could take a quick minute to just talk to your audience and just let them know,
absolutely,
in these times, stay safe, be with your loved ones, and cherish this moment, because when the world does open back up, we're going to miss the times that we can't spend with our loved ones right now. So take this opportunity to reach out to somebody that you haven't reached out to, talk to somebody that you haven't spoken to, and just take care of the people around you. That is my best advice to you for right now.
I totally, and lots of kindness. Thank you, Angie.
Yes.
Appreciate that. So everyone, as you know, every day, kindness is cool. Smiles are free. And you enjoy the day. Until next time, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And leave comments, conversation, and make your connections at the Pirate Broadcast. Thank you, everyone. Be back soon. Take care. Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.